because it is art. It's all art. These interests of passion, that creative interests of passion that we develop, are all art. Because it's that passion in expression, and the expression is the art. Man, I don't know what I just said, but it was profound as fuck, and I know it was. And I can't wait to go back and edit this video, because I'm gonna amaze my damn self. I'm gonna be like, oh man, she was so lit, but so deep. I actually know what she's saying now that she's forcing me to think about it with my open, free-thinking, non-conditioned mind. Girl, this spirit of wisdom be taking a hold of me. Oh, speaking of, since we gonna go there, honey, this is a sesh after all. John, I love that dude. I'm gonna miss that dude. I'm gonna miss that dude when this world is done with him. I'm afraid that when this world is done with him, they're just gonna discard him. It's gonna be disrespectful almost, just from my perspective. I don't think it'll be maliciously done, unless in the eyes of really evil people. But I think that it won't be malicious, but he's gonna be really underrated when he signs out. I hope they honor him as he deserves to be honored. Okay, that's enough of that, because at the end of the day, he Becky Daddy, and he had the option to fight for the right thing or not, with much less risk of being murdered, you know. Mass, yeah. But he knows that, and that's what makes him, that's what gives him a pass. He understands what that is and how it came to be. But anyway, this ain't about that. This ain't about that, girl. Yeah, Journey to Callaloo Queen. And now it's my shit. And it cooks as fast as spinach. It's healthier than every damn thing. And you can cook the stems. I ain't mentioned that. You can cook the stems. Now, if you get the really big fat main stem, the trunk and shit, you're going to have to peel off these strips of whatever. Just to avoid that, I would just say don't be trying to cook the main stem. To be fair, just so you know, I'm just not talking out of my ass because I don't have any experience. I have used that main stem and stripped all the skin off of that trunk and cut it into pieces and used it instead of celery, because y'all know I don't really mess with celery too much. And I have a substitute for celery. Those who have been around know what it is. If you want to know, ask. But anywho, I don't do celery too tough. So I used the callaloo stem for celery. It was great. It was great. But it's too easy just to tear off the leaves, and you can eat those stems without having to strip them. So that's too easy. I might as well do why I'm not about that fighting my food life. I'm not gonna have to strip this stuff off of this thing just to be able to enjoy this vegetable. I'm not gonna do that. It ain't gonna be me. I'm not gonna be the one to do it. I'm still about that practical life. Especially when all the leaves and the stems of the leaves are all good eating. What y'all know about it. All good eating. All good eating. What you know about that? Yes. It's hard now. That was just as well stop me from eating the whole thing. I need to go to the grocery store. How bad is the storm gonna be? I know. I know, John. Y'all gonna know what today is if I put that in there. I know, John. It's true. It's true. The more things change, the more they stay the same. I'm gonna miss him. I never even met him in person. And if I did meet him, I don't know what the fuck we would talk about. We don't know. But when this world loses him, I'm going to feel another substantial loss of energy in this existence. Because he's a good human. Like all humans I love. He's a good human. So I love you, John, if I don't ever get to tell you in person my own self. Man, love from Uncle John. Good human. Just basically good human. It's a shame how few basically good humans there are in the world right now. But what am I supposed to do? I'm only here to influence the influencers. The masses in general, I wasn't built. My patience and tolerance for bullshit wasn't built to put up with the masses. But for those of you who are powerful and have the power to influence others, I'm your girl. I'm your girl. I guess I'm your girl. I don't know what time in life, what age we think we're supposed to recognize our real purpose. Because you got different purposes at different ages. So I guess you can't even expect to know what it is from jump, unless yours is such that you needed an early jump in your knowledge on what it is you're here for. But in whatever way, it is mine to influence influencers, not just internet influence. I'm talking about the Beyoncés and the Oprahs, the ones that haven't crossed the sociopath line. Like, I'm not, like, Oprah wouldn't be bothered with nobody like me. And understandably so. But there are some people, the powerful people on that level, who would be for me, who would be one of the people that I would be an influencer to and for. And when I influence people, I don't do nothing special on my end specifically. All I'm really doing at the end of the day is introducing people to the God that was already in them. You just ain't never met that bitch. And it take a tough love bitch like me to tell you like it is, for you to sit down one day and take a real look in a motherfucking mirror and be like, oh my God. And this time when you say, oh my God, you gonna be talking to yourself, because you see the God in your damn self. And you know that there's nothing you can't do. Nothing you can't do. And you have the option, and since it's there, why not, to use those powers for good. So, bitch, from me to you, you can do it. When I say bitch, I'm talking of ladies and gentlemen alike. Y'all know it just comes out of my mouth when I'm talking to people I love sometimes. I regret eating that little piece of garlic bread twist. My stomach is not happy with that. Maybe I'll drink another protein drink. I need to drink some water, that's for damn sure. Hydrate, bitch. I don't know what my problem is. Let me go get some water. Ooh, I'm gonna ramp up a whole nother level with some water too. Why not? Why wouldn't I drink some more water for all the right reasons? I know I need some water. Look at me sitting here looking at y'all like y'all crazy. And still haven't got up to get some water. Get some damn motherfucker. Get your ass up and get you some water. Fucking problem. So here's how I cut my limes when I'm using them for evil. It looks more like a lemon because I let it get just that old, but cut it as if I'm going to cut 3 parts. So I cut here and here. So that'll leave 2 ends and a centerpiece. Right? So I cut like that. And then I cut down the length of it. So that all 3 of those pieces are cut in half. And then you have your lime already cut into pieces. But until you use them, each of them, you can use the actual lime to store itself without being exposed to all the elements. I'm enjoying the fragrance right now. It is sea spray, like this nice blue candle vase. It's not like my whiskey and tobacco. It's not like my masculine candles, but, well, I guess this does go in the masculine candles category with those others. But just so you know, sometimes once it burns down a little ways, if the flame is large enough, rather than cut the wick down, I actually add wax tarts. Don't add too many, because the wax will then smother the flames and you won't have enough wick to burn the candle down. But put just like 1 little wax tart in there and see how far it goes down the wick. Make sure it goes down the amount that you would have otherwise cut it. And you extend the life of your candle. You're not going to get it in a book, girl. You're not going to get it in no book. You better get it here while I'm here on this earth. Now that I done learned to break up out of this introvert shit. Or rather, found an alternative route. How about that? I found a presidential route to get around it so I can be comfortable in public and yet enable my discomfort with being in public by just turning on the camera and doing a damn thing as if I'm just surrounded by people I love. There you be. Normally I would use a pretty glass, but I'm not here for pretty. Number 2, I'm not here for pretty glass. Number 1, as often as I do tipsy videos, I haven't drank in probably 2 years. Do the math, and the answer is yes to the question that you have for that. Guzzle up some water. I got another round of my no transfer Milani. And after having used this for, it's been a year now, because I found it, discovered it, did a video on it, was lit about it. But come to find out, it kind of crusts a little bit, maybe dries your lips out a little bit. But the fact of the matter is, once you put it on, it is on, so you can eat through it, among other things. So what I would suggest, well, I ain't suggesting shit for you. What I do is, if I'm about to do a mukbang of some sort, or if I know I'm going to be eating while I'm doing a video, or if there's an event of some sort, and I know people are going to be getting Hollywood kisses, and I want a barrier. Not only do I want a barrier, I also don't want any remnants of my DNA or transfer to be on them when we're done smooching on each other. So I wear it where I need it for a consistent few hours at a time. Needless to say, I use them for my YouTube munchies and mukbangs and shit. Anytime, or even a review, a tasting. I got this from my people. Shout out to my family, my sisters. I missed the whole point. I mean, I haven't even told you the whole purpose of this one. I don't know if you know, but quick story time. Shit, why don't I just make it semi-extended? Okay, years ago, my sister was doing a show, and so we were in a hotel afterwards, and I'm definitely no stranger to tequila, let's just say that, let's just put that out there, okay? But what I had never had was Milagro, boom. So my brother walked in with popping bottles of Milagro, girl, and he was like, wait till you taste it. He hit me to it, you hear me? So it was just as smooth as you ever want in a tequila ever in life. I'm talking about it put, you know, when everybody was balling out with Patron a few years ago in the early 2000s, Patron was the lick. This is smoother than Patron. You want to say like water, but ain't no alcohol, not grain alcohol, not straight alcohol, not hard liquor. It's smooth like water. Buy with that. Kettle One is your vodka too, for those of you who didn't know. But yeah, so I kind of miss that smell. That happened in college too. I missed the smell of that was the college drink apparently. Not mine, because I was y'all know I was ahead of my time, so I was a dry martini girl. I drink what the old people drink. I remember the good smell of tequila. I like that. My brother turned me on to Milagro, right? In the meantime, I was working with this, actually the CEO's daughter-in-law. But anyway, we were working together. I love you, girl. So she was saying how her mom always said that tequila was a probiotic. I actually knew this and didn't realize I knew it. Because every time I turned up with tequila, the next morning, I went like clockwork. So when she first said this, and my immediate reaction was to be like, my mama just out here in these streets cougaring, and she want to find some legitimate health benefit to liquor. That's all the hell that is. But I couldn't say that because I knew from my experience with tequila that the next morning I really did go to the bathroom, but I never put it together. So I started being conscious of it, and it did continue to work every time. I just wasn't out here drinking in these streets every night, right? So it definitely worked. Anyway, as I've been having these sermons about hydrating and regularity, both which go hand in hand. You can't not drink enough water, complain about you not drinking enough water, and then also wonder why you're not regular. Your colon has to absorb moisture in your body for everything to have a smooth, regular flow, bitch. With me having the trouble I've been having, this is only my second time doing it, and it worked the first time. I decided to turn to tequila for a probiotic until I get all this crap out of me. And it's been working in conjunction with other things, because I also decided to alter my intake of my ingestion of meditation. I mean, I quite frankly like the actual act of smoking. I like it. And I like how immediate the results are. However, like I said, as I get older, we have different motivations, and I'm not out here trying to turn up, right? So I take it in its medicinal form every time that I do, every possible chance that I can. And if I want to have enough to be tipsy, as if I were drinking, I know to just increase the dose. It's simple as that. Yeah, but in the meantime, this tequila is literally for probiotic purposes, because I already have what I need to just simply wind down if I want to be a little tipsy without the physical retaliations from ingesting alcohol. But anyway, here goes. First time I didn't use the lime and salt. I'm using pickle salt because, like I said, I got it. I picked some up. Last time I was in the South, girl. In the South. Probably need to do 2 more of those, and I'll be good. Because I meditated about an hour ago. So that should hit me in another half hour or so. Let me see where my boo is. He's probably going to work late. I told y'all he stopped working late for those motherfuckers, right? And as soon as he did, I knew it too. I was like, you gonna stop working late and they gonna figure out how much they needed you to be working late. So as soon as he started working late, they offered incentive for the guys to work late. All of a sudden they get paid overtime if they work late now. So Mr. been working late for 15 years. When I'm talking about late, I don't mean stay at a half hour. I mean closing the joint out. So Mr. been working late consistently for 15 years. We started getting older and ailing and losing people. And we realized that you don't give a fuck about us or our families or how we have to grieve about our losses or our health. And we start making our health a priority, and he starts leaving on time. Your business suffers because now he's leaving on time. So not even a month, within a month of him starting to leave on time and bring his ass home, they now suddenly offer an incentive of overtime for guys that want to stay late. You know what that says? That says you didn't want to pay him what he was worth, the work he was putting in as a black man. Yes, I said it, as a black man. Just because he was black, you felt like you was paying him too much. You would have been paying him too much. Now, to entice other people who refuse to stay late or work through lunch the way he does every day. For those people who refuse to do that, who refuse to stick around and do your dirty work like he does, now you offer them an incentive to work late. Employed in Trump America. Employed in Trump America. But I'm going to chill though, because Because what else I'm going to do? What else am I going to do? Took the other side of this. Those will be the next two. And if you have a little saucer or something, you can put a clean saucer, obviously. You can put this face down on that clean saucer to keep the open part then clean. And another reason I want to go ahead and get all this pooper going is because, I had went ahead and hit the 15-pound mark because, well, you probably know by now. But Mr. and I have been walking every morning. And if it rains or for some reason we can't walk, we'll do cardio here at home. And then at night we do yoga. And we have not skipped once. We haven't skipped once. We got cut short this morning because he met with the contractors. Because they slept on some shit, girl. That should be its own video. Because I know some people that's not here for that. But homeowners, keep your antenna up, hunted. Anyway. Plus, since I haven't drank in a long time, if there's ever an event, and I get conned into drinking, I need to know what my alcohol tolerance level is like now that I have not been drinking for a good couple of years. So, I'm going to do this one more time, maybe twice at the most. I don't have no choice because if I can't more than twice and this will be gone, right? But I'm going to do it just long enough to get rid of it. And I have a sister who might get located out here now and then. Might have to fly out for business. And if she does, I will then buy bottles for her and let her pop them because she can do it. She can do it. Let me tell y'all. Y'all don't know this about me. Being the old soul that I am, that I've always been, because I'm actually old now, but being the old soul that I've always been, you would think that I've had exposure to my own grandparents to bring me into that life, to be about it, right? But that didn't happen. I didn't really have relationships with my grandparents, except I have memories with one of my grandparents. And even then, it's very vague. It's like I can remember doing her hair, which seemed like it would be a great memory, so I wish I could really remember all of that. Doing your grandma's hair. I wish I had better memories. But I remember being mad at her because she was diabetic and I didn't even know about diabetes. I didn't even know what it was, but I knew she couldn't have cream corn because it would make her sick. And she loved cream corn. And I would just get mad because I know she ain't supposed to have that. I don't even know how sick it make her or what happens. I just know she was hard-headed about it. And, I can oscillate that hoe. One of my grandmothers was an alcoholic. Hold your pity for a minute. Hold on, bitch. Because she wasn't shit. And I hate to say that because I know my mother would and my aunt would never want to hear me say such a thing. But it is what it is. She wasn't shit and she, real recognize real, right? So, I didn't have no problem with her, but I was the only one. It's just like anybody else that people warn you, oh, watch out for this person, they mean. And I'd be like, I ain't worried about it. Everybody think I'm mean. And to them, I am. That's their perspective. That's people's perspective of honesty. If you're honest about shit, And I know, I get it. Just if somebody's actually ugly, you don't have to say it in the name of being honest. That's rude. It is rude. Okay? So I don't go around doing that. But at the same time, if something is presented to me, and I don't go do it or beat around a bush, something presented to me, if I actually care, because y'all remember, I will say, really? Wow, okay. I will say that to ignorance. But if it's somebody I really care about, I'm going to keep it real, because if I really love you, if I don't have that kind of love for you, I just kick back and watch the train wreck, bitch. Real recognize real. And so when I was young and it came to old people and people be like, watch out, damn mean old grouch, I was like, okay. And I would tell old people, I was like, you need to get it together. Okay, because you don't want to sign out of this bitch just having been mean to everybody, so don't nobody want nothing to do with you. Get it together. You hear me? I had a manager one time, and that manager would tell all of his agents about the time that he lost his mother, and the only real conversation he had with somebody was with me. And that's the person I want to be. I don't want to be a phony bitch like most of you motherfuckers. If I leave a legacy, I want it to mean something. Even if it made a couple of motherfuckers mad. But if it made them take a real look in the mirror and actually get introduced to the God in themselves, and they change their mind and make a better choice for themselves, not for me. I don't give a fuck. I'm living my life. I done made choices that are the best for me, and I am surrounded by loving energies. But everybody has that option. I don't say the shit I say because I'm better than you. I say the shit I say because I need you to realize that you have that same option. You can have a better life. This ain't shit. I'm just emotional because I know people who made a choice to swim in the drama, to be that bitch that the system has conditioned most of you to be, and whose parents have enabled it along the way. So that's kind of hurtful to know that you have a choice. But rather than make a better choice for your own damn self, you rather look at people that did make a better choice and be like, oh, she thinks she all that. And what people call hating on them, but it don't. You can only have haters if you open yourself up to be susceptible to motherfuckers that don't even count in the big scheme of things. So, I'm emotional too because I also have a sister that made some choices that she didn't have to make, and I love her, but I'm estranged from her because of those choices. I'm not gonna put everything that I consciously built on the chopping block because you decide to not be shit in life. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about success. I'm not talking about financial gain. I'm talking about you being grimy in general, like these reality TV show type chicks. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to let this world condition you. But I do get that it's hard. I do get that it's hard too. I do get that it's hard. I do, y'all. It just makes me angry. And I stopped being angry about the people in general and started only being angry when you guys involve children in these decisions. And I look at all the children and like my YouTube nephew was talking about a beef that he got into with a popular YouTuber. If you can call it that. I don't really call it that because he's on a whole nother level, right? So he was talking about how he said something about this popular YouTuber, and so of course that person's followers came for him, right? Came for him at the neck, and he my YouTube nephew, so that don't mean nothing to us. We don't have haters and shit like that. We go and speak the truth, and every now and then somebody don't like it. We ready. You know somebody ain't gonna like it. But when you get to a popular person, their followers are gonna come for you because their followers are really young. Well, not even young sometimes. Sometimes they can be adult age and just juvenile. But anyway, he had said something in truth, okay, about this popular person. So their followers came for him, and he was ready. For us, it's a game. You know what I mean? It's a game. We leave the crazy motherfuckers alone, okay? But if it's somebody that's just ignorant, all you do is set them up. They fall right into it. They're so predictable. You set them up. You set the stage, and you put a big-ass hole in it. And they going to walk up on the stage, And they're going to walk right directly toward the hole you built and drop their monkey ass into it. You know why? Because they misparented. You got a 99% chance of getting it right if you just basically common sense, free thinking, humane motherfucker. So, anyway, he was over there ready, right? Ready for the backlash. But when he wanted to come back at somebody, he said he looked and he saw that this little girl was like all of 8 years old. And so he couldn't. He couldn't even banter back and forth with that bitch. 8 years old. Because y'all children are following fuck people. This ain't liquor, this meditation. I told y'all I was going to kick in about a half hour. Or maybe it's both. Incidentally, I was talking about grandparents at some point. How did I get to that? Oh, I was saying how one of my, not the ones that I have memories with doing her hair and sugar shaming her into not eating cream of corn. Not that one. But my other grandmother was an alcoholic. That's the one I said wasn't shit. And y'all started, you know you did. You know you started, it started to pull on your heartstrings. And I pumped them brakes. Because don't let it pull on your heartstrings, baby. She would cuss everybody out. She could get her vocals on. Cuss motherfuckers out. And this bitch lived till 90 years old, damn near. She cussed my daddy out. Apparently she cussed my sisters out. She ain't fuck with me like that. Because I told y'all bullies don't come for me. Because I'm ready. I don't care who you are or how old. I told you I was hanging with the old people when I was 6. And it wasn't just learning from them. It was really in me. It really is like, you know how old people look at some kids and be like, this child been here before. I got that all the time. But you know, as I look back on it my own self, it is like I've been here before. If I see a child like I was, like this the child that I was, I'm like, y'all just saying that for sport. But that child really has been here before. If they haven't been here, they remember whatever angelic position, whatever supernatural realm we're in before we get to this earth. And don't even realize they remember. Because they just been there, sometimes spending their suspenseful energy looking at everything, almost like looking at the world that God made, almost like the world that they made. Because remember, God is in all of us, right? Just looking at the world that God made and being like, damn, God must be disappointed like a motherfucker. God, you mad? I can't even ask why you mad, though. I'm looking at it. It's infuriating. These motherfuckers done run amok. And you thought you was helping out by giving them power to be and do whatever they wanted to in life. And this is what they chose. So disappointing. So disappointing. But that's all it is for adult age people that have the ability to free think and choose not to. That's all it is disappointing. Whatever. You got the choice. If you want to do that to yourself. I hate you want to do that to yourself when you actually have the tools to be amazing. But that's okay if that's what you want to do. But what's not okay is when you involve the children. That's what's not okay. Yeah, so my grandma was an alcoholic. And you know how those tendencies skip generations? Not only, well, I didn't even realize it at the time, but as a young, successful adult, because I'm not financially successful like I was, but, and, you know, if you knew then what you know now, I would have put so much more money aside. I would love to retire Mister. He works so diligently. And he's actually put that kind of work in most of our lives so I could live out my creative pipe dreams. If that ain't love, bitch. If that ain't love. Because expenses are heavy on his shoulders. And he come at it like a black man. If y'all knew black men like I know them. Young black men too. But y'all won't fuck boys. But there's some young black men out here, girl. It's easy not to give them credit. Because I look at young people and I get sad. I'm like, this is a terrifying situation. You know, baby boomers said it a long time ago. Our parents were baby boomers. And they said it a long time ago. They're like, you have the world at your fingertips. But then they looked at the moral capacity of their children and they was like, I'm terrified for it. I'm terrified for it. There are a handful of great, great young people. But I'm terrified for what the masses are buying into. You know, but I know what world I live in. I know what country I live in. So, I didn't even realize at the time as a young person that alcoholism can easily and often does skip a generation. So, it seems like of all the children, that even if the alcoholism skipped a generation and hit someone, it seemed like it would be me. Because I was young, in my 20s, successful, traveling the nation, often, regularly, all the major cities. I wasn't balling, but I was making nice money. And I wasn't saving it. I was spending it as fast. I was watching all the infomercials. I was buying shit from the TV because we didn't have computers to buy from, or it wasn't common to purchase. eBay didn't exist, you know what I'm saying? And by the time it did exist, I should have jumped right in. Everybody wants to jump in on the ground floor, but you don't know. You don't know what's going down. So, and especially with what I was doing, I was traveling and advertising. I was meeting and being wined and dined by radio stations all across the nation. In my position, people had actually said to me, I would have thought you would have been an alcoholic by now. So apparently, the thing to do in the position that I was in, traveling everywhere, working with media, being wined and being entertained on the low, people were like, man, I'm surprised you're not an alcoholic, because usually people get in that position and they just travel. In their travel, you're traveling alone. So you get to each different city and drink. And I did. I got to where I love my wine. I had wine set up. I told y'all when I went out to the lounges, of course I still party with older people, like jazz lounges, and I went stepping out in the Midwest. I went hand dancing on the East Coast, you know what I'm saying, ballroom dancing. You do that with older people. And when I went out, I told y'all when Bernie Mac had his show at the little club before he got his own sitcom, I would have them go get my own bottle of wine. I always remember the waitress at Bernie Mac's show, because a club didn't carry my favorite wine, and this bitch, if you're a good person, people will be good to you. I don't care, because I had the reputation of looking mean. But the fact that these people did this for me, even if it was for the money, because I took care of them. So everybody thought I was rich, like, what, this 20-something-year-old black woman, what did she do? Somebody told me they thought I was a Secret Service agent. Literally. Because nobody really knows me. I would show up for a couple of months, disappear for a few months. Show up. And when I did show up at the clubs, I wouldn't talk to nobody. I wasn't trying to make friends. Ain't no sense in us becoming friends. I'm going to be gone in a few months. I recognize the value in not getting close to people. And as an introvert, I recognize that anyway. I was okay with my alone time anyway. So people was always pulling teeth trying to get me to participate in different things. And actually, I'm going into a new stage of my life where I realize the value in human social interaction, and the fact that social media is not destroying it, it's diminishing it in the name of, I feel scared for y'all. I ain't ready to die or no shit like that, but it's like I told Mister, if I wouldn't have made it through our PEDVT scare, just know that you made me the happiest woman in the world. I lived it up before I signed out of this bitch. I was happy. I told him, if you decide to go crazy and decide you want to kill me one day, nobody will ever be none the wiser. Because I would have died the happiest. As far as everybody concerned, I would have died the happiest motherfucker in the world. So I hope you don't go crazy and decide to kill me. But if you do go crazy and decide to kill me, I had the best years of my life with you, nigga. You made that possible. So I don't feel like I'm gonna sign out of this bitch too soon. But just know when I do go, it was a full life amongst wonderful people who had their chakras together and didn't even realize how together they had it. Well, some of them do. Actually, they do realize it, but I don't think they realize the enormity of it. I'm just getting old and being appreciative, count my blessings. Bitch, you going through this with me. This is a journey through middle fucking age. I'm old enough to be a grandmother. When you old enough to accept that when you do get cast in a movie, that you're not going to be cast so much as the lead, unless the lead is middle age. But you're not going to be cast so much as a lead as you're going to be cast as the lead's auntie. Oh my God, I got to be the auntie now. But hey, I get to be the auntie. That's right. I get to be the auntie. There's a lot of freedom in being the auntie. Sis, it's my baby. I think I'll tell Mr. I double dosed. Because, honey, when I told him last time, I was like, it seemed like it would be that big a deal, right? But my meditation has been so effective that I know we ain't even thought twice about no alcohol. So, and I didn't tell him I was doing this because the last time, remember I told you this is my second time. And I might do one more of that just to polish it off and get rid of it. I ain't buying no more until my sister comes to town. My sister who can't have no meditation in her system because she works a job that drug tests. So, protect my sisters. everybody thought for sure. I can't say the family thought that because I was, you know, the whole valedictorian, preacher's kid thing, star athlete, all that shit, academic decathlon, bitch. I did it all. But it's not because it was a passion of mine. It's because we got brainwashed to know how important grades were. And grades are important. And that's why I would never catch myself sharing with young people how well you can do without your education. Well, I take that back. You can't do well without education. Fuck that. But this formal system that we have understood to recognize as education is a whole different thing from actual education. But with what I was doing, traveling in with advertising and being wine and dine, everybody thought for sure. And I heard multitude of people in the industry say to me, "Oh, I'm surprised you haven't become an alcoholic. You were not an alcoholic by now." And I was like, huh. And matter of fact, I was like, am I? I was thinking, am I? Because I go out 3 times a week. And I have my wine before I go. And when I go there, I have a bottle to myself because I don't want to share with nobody. But the reality is, I have a bottle to myself because I don't want to share with nobody else. I don't want my stuff being poured out of the same bottle as this peon. Because I'm bougie. I know people couldn't figure me out worth a damn. I had Norm Lear and his table sent a drink one year. I met Michael Baisden. I didn't buy him a drink. But we spent the majority of the night together, which lets me know he can recognize a lady when he sees one. I ain't going for your Mac, though. Your Mac is so whack. No bitch made ass. But shout out to him and his hustle, because he knows that there's enough shallow women out there that'll fall for his bullshit. And y'all go for it. Why not give it a shot? And he recognized the difference. I don't know at what point he knew, but he knew that I was not the one. Like, this bitch is a for real bitch. I'm not. She ain't the type to be played. And it could have been when he gave me an autographed picture of him. I know I got him somewhere. But he gave me an autographed picture of him, right? When he first met me. He was having a book signing, actually at a club or something. And it was not or something. It was at a club, but it was the most bougie club. I was new to it. It was the most bougie club out here. And it was called Enter's. It don't exist no more, so I can tell you what it was. It was called Enter's. Everything was so nice. It was really upscale. And there were black people. Upscale black people. That was my shit if I could find it, which I rarely could. But I just pacified myself with jazz lounges because that's as close as I could get. But this Enter's, it was black, right? I can't remember how he introduced himself, but he introduced himself. He carried himself like a gentleman. And so we had a conversation. Most people don't recognize that. You know, they're like, oh, how you get her to talk to you? You be a gentleman. I'll talk to you. But your bitch ass probably didn't come correct, so that's what had happened. He did. He came like a gentleman. And matter of fact, we spent most of the evening together. I have to honestly credit him for being the one. Like when Mr. give me back cracks, that's all Mr., right? But there's a certain back crack that you can get on your actual back. Don't ask me how we ended up in this predicament, bitch. But I did not fuck Michael Baisden, just for the record, just to make that clear. You know, I would not fuck Michael Baisden, okay? It wouldn't give him the intimate time of motherfucking day, right? Well, I can't say intimate, because intimate don't have to be sexual. Because I guess if we spent the evening just talking, then that was intimate. Y'all just don't recognize that as intimate. But anyway, you know what the fuck I'm saying. I would not take a lick of clothes off for no damn, for a fuckboy like Michael Baisden. But in all fairness, he's a hustler, and I credit him for recognizing people's ignorance and taking it to the bank. Okay, can I just put it on out there? I don't know how it ended up like this, girl, but it did. So he was like, you know, I don't know if I was stiff or what. But he was like, well, you want me to crack your back? And I was like, nigga, please, right? He was like, no, seriously. So I laid down on the floor. I don't know how I was okay with this. Maybe I was drinking. Was not drunk, but maybe I was drinking enough to be okay with this. But all I was thinking was about he sounds serious, right? He know that I make it clear that this is not a sexual situation. He didn't have no problem with that. He was like, let me hook your back up, right? So he got on my back with his nuts on my booty. But believe it or not, it wasn't sexual. So he had his nuts on my booty, and he was doing some compression, right? And this was right at a time where I was looking for a black masseuse. I was called myself supporting black business, so I was looking for a good black masseuse. And that's a whole nother story time, girl. I found a black masseuse, girl. He was the best one in Chicago. And I finally found him. And I shit you not, he was magical. He was the witch doctor of massages. My white sister think this story is so funny. I told her about this story. I went and I got an appointment with this motherfucker, right? Because, okay, I'll tell y'all. That's a different story time. Okay, I'm not gonna get into that. Anyway, Michael Basin got me on the floor. He proceeded to press my back in such a way. I can't explain it now, but I clearly know what it is because I walked Mr. through it, and Mr. been giving me back cracks ever since. But I don't really need the floor ones anymore since he does so good with the straight up. Y'all seen him when he come home and give me my hug, my daily hug and kiss, and he gives me my back crack. Yes, yes. But Michael Basin had taught me this floor back crack thing that I have since taught Mr. and we're able to get back cracks out of that floor situation. So he gave me a good back crack on the floor and bitch. So he can't tell nobody he ever fucked me, but he can tell people that he gave me the bomb back crack and schooled me on how it should be done. We talked a little bit more after that, and then we talked probably another hour after that, and I was like, you know what, I'm out. Oh, but just before the back crack, girl, like I said, at the book signing, he gave me an autograph picture, unsolicited. Bitch, I didn't ask for autograph pictures. This must be what famous people do. Because who does this? He said he was going to give me an autograph picture, so he did. He signed it. He gave me an autograph picture. Later in the night, he saw the picture, and I had taken that bitch and rolled it up into a baton. Because I didn't give no fuck about his autograph picture. You know, nigga. Later in the night, he saw the autograph picture he got me was balled up. And he's like, oh, your picture is balled up. He's like, let me give you another one. So this motherfucker gave me another autograph picture of himself. I was like, nah, B. Nah. And what's funny about all that is, let me tell you about his books. I ain't give a flying fuck about his books. Because most guys that write books about understanding women, well, you know, either they don't understand women at all, or they understand girls, so they're convinced that they understand women. Because they've assessed that these girls that they fuck with are representative of women somehow. He asked me that night at the book sign, and he asked me if I had read his book, and I was like, no. And he was like, well, you plan to read it? I was like, no, I would not spend. This is literally what the conversation went like. I would not spend money on anything like that. And so he said, oh, okay. He gave me a copy. Around the same time, he gave me the first copy autograph picture. So he gave me the book. And since I got the book for free, I read it, and it was all the bullshit I thought it was. Like I said, he is able to get over on girls, so he's convinced that these girls are representative of women in a nutshell, and he therefore understands them. No, bitch, you understand girls. You still don't understand women, right? So it wasn't much later that I met this other guy, right? So I went to this guy's, because nobody ever knew my phone number, address. I don't fuck around, okay? Because I'm different. I really am different, and you'll fuck around and fall in love. You'll be a player. You thought you was a player. You fuck around and fall in love with me, and I'm not the one for you to fall in love with, because we're not going to be a match, okay? We're not going to be. I'm the type of bitch you need to get your life together. But you ain't worthy of me until you get out this game playing juvenile ass bullshit, because we ain't about fuck boys. Real women are not about fuck boys. And I think low-key they know that, and so they do want real women. But that's neither here nor there. So later on, I met a friend of his named, didn't fuck Sam either, because I'm not fucking with fuck boys. But I didn't know him well enough to know if he was one or not at the time. So I met him and I hung out. I spent some time with him. Learned he was a fuckboy. Wasn't fucking with him. But in the meantime, he was talking about his friend that had a book signing. Who would that happen to be? Michael Basin. So I was like, oh, really? Interesting. So he was like, had you read his book? And I was like, no, he gave me one. I did slip that in there. No, he gave me one, but I didn't read it. So after this experience, I actually read it. And I was like, it's everything that I thought. It's all the bullshit I thought it was. And so he told me he had written a sequel to it. And so he gave me the sequel. So I got this now. I get this. Why is God setting up the plan for me to read this motherfucker's books that I have no interest in? And after I read it, I want my time back that I wasted on it. So Sam gives me the next one. I think it's Maintenance Man. The first one was Why Men Cheat. The second was Maintenance Man. Or I don't know which order they went in. I didn't fuck with them. Other than them giving to me for free. And I was a reader. I like to read. But I wasn't going to spend a dime on it. So he gave me the other book, the Maintenance Man one. And I read that. I was like, this ain't no better than the other one. Give me my time and my life back. So, but you know, when I read this other book, there was a character in there that represented when he met his match, bitch. And why does that character have my same name? But honestly, it's probably not me because I didn't really give him all that much energy. But that character that gave him a look of himself in that mirror, sounded like he was in love with her, but he knew wasn't no haps. But realistically, it could have not been me. But we sure had the same name. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, you would think alcoholism would skip a generation, and so everyone thought that the generation would probably be like just straight of all my sisters, probably straight up me, right? But I was always conscious of not being, I did not want alcohol to be able to, I don't like the concept of being out of control. You know what I mean? So it was important to me to be, a part of being an adult is knowing your tolerance and your, knowing when to say when, bitch. I don't ever want to be in a point where I didn't have control, wasn't aware and using my moral balance, common sense. But contrary to common belief, one of my other family members picked up that gene. So there is an alcoholic in the family. And it's probably that time in life for me to step in and be a rock for their children. And not that it has anything to do with the tequila, but y'all, I've been feeling a little resistant and not really, I've been doing it, but not really wanting to do too much the fitness, but we've been consistent because I kind of like later when Mr. says, he'll be like, oh, I didn't want to do it, such and such, such, but I'm glad you made us do it. The pressure, right? Because, bruh, I didn't feel like doing it either, is what you don't know. But when I hear him say that afterwards, because we both benefit from it, it makes me be more consistent. Anyway, this past weekend, we both start feeling a lot of generally better health-wise. Our appetites are back, you know what I'm saying? But the problem is you can tell. Because I swear, it's like I gained 4 or 5 pounds of that weight back. And I was so excited about losing it. But I gained 4 or 5 pounds back. Put me right back at the 10-pound margin. And that's some bullshit. And don't blame tequila. It ain't the tequila. Like I said, this is only my second time doing this. It's literally my eating. And I actually got on the scale after I did my cucumber mukbang. And 189, girl. And that makes me nervous. That makes me feel like all my stuff finna go to waste. So I guess it's good I got on the scale. Because I don't necessarily promote getting on the scale if you're making progress. You could even tell in my face. My face had gotten so jiggly. My jiggly ass jowls, girl. I was editing a car vlog one time with me and Mr. And still not all the way gone right now, but I'm working on it. It's on the way. I just stepped on the scale. It made me feel a little bit better. But that took me from 10 pounds down to, from 15 pounds down to 10. And that's got to end. I got to go back to hydrating better, taking my vitamins. I need to meditate more than, keep that regular. As regular as I can, you gotta be able, it's gotta be in your budget. But whenever it's in my budget, I need to meditate as regularly as possible. I'm pumping my brakes. It's too much work to throw it away. Go right into our yoga and then eat. And then I sometimes get mixed up with whether I want to eat first or yoga first. But usually I want to do yoga first so we can. The benefit of eating first is you doing yoga to work off what you just ate. But the benefit of doing the yoga first is go ahead and do the yoga, get it out the way, and then you eat. And actually the cool down from the yoga brings your appetite down, so you don't have the munchies and the snack struggle that you would normally have, which is interesting, right? Right after a workout, seems like you'd be starved and hungry. But the thing is, the next day, that appetite is there, ready to pop off, which means that you need to jump on that and have breakfast, the most important meal of the day, to kick off your metabolism. I'm also learning the value of contracting my core, the fat burning value of that, of contract. You hear people say that, but realistically, I wonder how many actual trainers realize how few people really understand what that is. It's not your fault because it's difficult to understand and it's difficult to even articulate. But there's a core contraction that because you're like contract your core, push your navel in towards your spine and relax. If I'm contracting my belly to where my navel want to touch my spine, how can I relax at the same time, bitch? But there's something to it, and I guess that's the best way they can explain it. And it is the best way that they can explain it. But I'm here to stand in your amen corner and let you know that you're not crazy. That doesn't make sense for you to contract your abs to where it feels like you're pushing your belly button towards your spine. That sounds crazy in a position where you should be relaxing. Whether it's child's pose, or if you're doing cobra, if you're doing an active pose. This is my buddy. I got a buddy. I got a couple of them that don't know they are. But I'm just laying back to make sure they ain't collabing with privileged people that are prepared to pimp them. Because I ain't going down with you, girl. I ain't going to stop you from going. Because you might interpret that as somebody that I hate to see you progressing. So I'm going to let you go. Unless I fall in love with you, then I might try to pump your brakes on some truth type shit. But I'm going to let you do your thing. You grown. Maybe I'm just like a flower too. Maybe I'm just like my mother. She never said, she never said, why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when doves cry. I don't even know what all I just talked about. I don't even know what just happened. How did it not? I need to go cook dinner. This is a premium block. Who is that person? So this is a premium. I bought this from the store. And I bought this at the thrift store. This came from the thrift store, if you can believe that. Well, of course you can. Why wouldn't a yoga block be at the thrift store? And this is, I actually purchased this for $5. And I do notice that this one is larger than this one. Look at that. It's wider. I don't know if that makes a huge difference. Oh, extra thick. It does say extra thick. I think I'm going to give this to Mr. Because I've been using the block just like this, still in the package. Because I have this habit of wanting new stuff to stay new looking forever. It's that container queen thing. Addiction. Sensation athletics. Yeah, I'm going to give that one to Mr. Anywho, let me empty this memory. Thank y'all for spending so much time with me when I'm just rambling. I genuinely love and appreciate you for that.